Okay, let's go. Mom's calling us. You love the snow, don't you? Oh my God. I can't even see you, Lay. Because it's snowing so hard. How can you possibly garden when it's 20 below outside? Or your gardens are under 2 feet of snow? The answer is herbs, specifically indoor herbs. One of the easiest and most satisfying herbs to grow indoors in the dead of winter is basil. It's not at all hard, but there's a few tips and tricks to ensure that you can grow the best indoor basil possible. And it starts right now. Hey guys, if this is your first time visiting the Ripe Tomato Farms channel, first up, I want to thank you for stopping by. Here we talk about the most effective tips and strategies to help you grow the best backyard veggies possible. So, if growing fresh organic fruits and vegetables for you and your family is something you're passionate about, consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. First up, we have to get our pots or containers ready. Indoor potting can be a little bit different than outdoor summer potting, so pay attention. Fill up your pots with a quality seedling mix, either pre-made or one you mix yourself. I'll throw a link down below for those of you DIY types. Next, I firmly press the soil down to give an evenly distributed landing pad for our seeds. The issue with basil is that it's quite tropical. The seeds will not germinate properly or at a high germination rate if the soil is cold. So before we can actually seed the soil, you have to preheat it first. About 24 hours later, now that our soil is good and warm, ideally between 75 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit, we can finally start seeding. Seeding is super easy. Simply sprinkle the seeds on top of the soil at a concentration of about 2 seeds per square inch. These pots are 6 by 6, so that's 36 square inches, so I use about 72 seeds. Once you've finished your seeding, simply put a 1-inch loose skim coat of the same potting mix that you used before. I do press it down ever so gently to get an even settling of the soil, but be careful here. Then, you gotta place your pots back on the heat to ensure maximum germination. So that soil will tend to dry out, so what I like to do is to just put a covering on top of those pots. Now you don't have to go clear. I've seen people even use cardboard and paper towel. I like to use the plastic simply because I can keep reusing it. It's never going to go bad. Plus, I like to be able to see through without having to lift it up and letting the cold air in. So we'll let these guys sit, for about 3 to 4 days. Come back and see if we have any germination. Around 3 days later, you should start to see the seedlings popping up. However, wait a couple more days to ensure that all the seeds are germinated. And hey, be happy at this point because literally all the hard work is done. Now that you're confident that all your seeds have sprouted and that they have sufficient root systems to support those young plants, you can now move your basil to where you're going to grow it for the duration of its time indoors. Ideally, on a south-facing windowsill, in a room that keeps a moderate temperature. And now, provided that your temperatures are stable, you can simply grow your basil like you normally would in the summer. Now, if you're just joining us, basil is very much a subtropical plant. I know it grows quite readily in moderate temperatures, but that's its adult form. To get these seeds to germinate, to have maximum germination success, you need a soil temperature of about 75 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Growing indoors in the winter in temperate regions means you're going to need supplemental heat for your soil. At these temperatures, the seeds should germinate in a couple of days. But once germination begins, don't remove them from the heat. You need to wait a full week so that all those seeds have germinated, plus you want the young seedlings to get firmly established in that soil and send out a little bit of a root system. Once you're confident that those young seedlings are established, you can simply remove them from the heat and place them on a south-facing windowsill to grow for the rest of the winter. Like many of you, basil is easily my favorite herb. But as much as I love to eat it, I simply can't buy store-bought basil leaves. Or worse, prepared pesto products. Thankfully, growing basil indoors in the winter is just as easy as growing it outdoors in the summer, provided you observe the strategies we talked about in this video. So grow some indoor basil today, germinate those seeds tonight, and enjoy fresh pesto and other basil delicacies all winter long. Hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons if you'd be so kind, and I'll see you in the next video.